walk through the differences between POP and OOP. POP stands for Procedural Oriented Programming Languages and OOP stands for Object Oriented Programming Languages. What is a programming language? A programming language is a formal language comprising a set of instructions to produce various kinds of output. What is the benefit of a programming language? By using programming language, you can produce software or you can implement algorithms. Now straight away, let us get into the differences. Now, the first difference is the design. The approach that POP uses and the approach that OOP uses. The approach that POP uses is top-down approach and the approach OOP uses is the bottom-up approach. What does it mean by an approach? Approach is the style of writing the algorithms. The way you write the algorithms decide which approach you are using. Now let me tell you what does it mean by top-down approach. In the top-down approach, you will be taking the larger problem and you will be dividing the larger problem into sub-problems and then into sub-sub-problems and then into sub-sub-sub-problems. So this decomposition of the major problem into sub-problems is called as top-down approach. Let me give you an example in the C programming. In C programming, what you do is you write functions and from functions decide the subtasks, and inside the functions, if you wanted to actually attain some other subtasks, then you will be writing sub-sub-functions. So this is an example of top-down approach. Now let us see what does it mean by bottom-up approach. In the bottom-up approach, what you do is you will concentrate on what is the data first, and around the data you will be constructing the functions, and the data members and the data functions and the member functions together will comprise your class. So you will be making a composition of all these to form the answer for the problem that you have taken. So this is bottom-up approach. Now the next one is, what do you emphasize in POP and what do you emphasize in OOP? The emphasis in POP, emphasis means that what you talk more. In POP, you will be talking about only functions. The major constructs in POP is the functions. In OOP, everything that you talk about is objects. Now next difference is, how do the functions communicate? In POP, the functions communicate through parameter passing techniques, and in OOP, the objects communicate through message passing techniques. And the next difference is regarding modifications. Whether you can make modifications in POP or not. Modifications in POP are a bit difficult because modifications, in the sense, I meant to say that adding of new data and adding of new functions. That is quite difficult because it affects the other code as well. Because data is not centric to functions. Data is kept as a global data. So any function can try to modify it. So modifications are a bit difficult in POP. Now coming to how can you make modifications in OOP, whether that is easy or not. Modifications in OOP is very easy because the data and the functions are centric towards the objects. So every object has got its own independent data and functions. So you can happily add data and functions. Now the next difference is regarding data hiding. Since POP doesn't provide any technique of data hiding, the data is less secure over here. Now coming to OOP, it is having a technique of data encapsulation. So data is more secure in OOP languages. Now the next difference is regarding access specifiers. There are no access specifiers in POP. Now many of you might get it out, what is an access specifier? The list of access specifiers are public, private, protected and default, and these access specifiers are not provided in POP. But in OOP, you have got these access specifiers, and if you want a data to be public, you can make the data public. If you want some data to be private, you can make that private. So you can decide on which data can go on air and which data need to be private. So that facility is there in OOP, overloading concept. POP does not support overloading concept, whereas OOP supports overloading of the operators and also functions. Function overloading and operator overloading both are possible in OOP languages. Now here I am talking about OOP languages. I am not giving specific to C++ and Java because Java does not support operator overloading. So I am just talking about OOP. So in OOP, function overloading and operator overloading both are possible. Now I list out some of the languages which are POP, and they are C and Pascal and Fortran, Basic. All these are examples of POP languages, and OOP languages are Java, Python, C++, C#, and so on. So all these are examples of OOP languages. So these are the differences, my friends, and let me talk about the similarity between these two programming languages. Now the similarity is only one, which is like both come under the imperative programming paradigm. Imperative programming paradigm says that you need to mention what and how to solve the problem. Now both the languages, I mean both the kinds, POP or OOP, it depends on the style of writing the algorithm, but you have to mention how to solve the problem. That's the only similarity between these two. And that's it, my friends. So hope you like this video. Please watch my upcoming videos as well. Stay home, stay safe, happy learning. Bye.